Every few years, something comes along that the gun community says changes everything, whether it's red dots, weapon lights, compensators, a radiant ramjet with afterburner, ported pistols. Some people swear they'll never own another pistol without one. Others think we're kind of solving a problem that never existed and maybe causing some new problem. Today, we're settling the debate. By the end of this video, I think most people are going to realize they've been asking the wrong questions. Welcome back to Glockaholic 76. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like this video, at the end, hit that like button. It helps us get seen by more people just like you. So exactly what is porting? Before we can debate whether porting is worth it, we need to make sure we're all talking about the same thing, because there are several different ways manufacturers accomplish this. Some quick examples of production carry models that are out there. You have something like this, which is a Glock 19C, has cuts in the slide and the barrel. But then you also have other options. You have something like this, which just has a standard size barrel, the P365 barrel. So the barrel ends approximately right about here, but then they have a cut in the slide to let the gases escape before the opening of the barrel. All the pistols in this video today are going to be safe and clear, and there is no ammo anywhere. This is your P365 Spectrum Comp. This is the Shield Performance Setter in 40 Smith & Wesson. Similar situation, except you have your slide cuts are on the side, and then you have your two small barrel cuts here. Another option you can go with, just your slide cuts, which this is your Staccato HD 3.6. This particular pistol doesn't have the ports. It does have the bull barrel, but it has the slide cuts just to lighten the slide so the slide can go back and forth a little bit faster. Also, check out some of the pictures I'll roll in here so you can see some other different styles of ports. Barrel ports are precisely machined holes, or they can just be slots that are cut directly into the barrel. They're usually near the muzzle at the end because the gun wants to flip up because it's rotating in your hand. Porting let those gases escape so it can push the front of the pistol back down, causing a more level return to target. Portion of the gases will exit upward into the ports before the bullet leaves the barrel. Those upward gases will keep the muzzle down, helping contradict that muzzle rise. The pros surrounding porting would be you get your less muzzle rise, you're going to get faster sight recovery, better control, especially during rapid fire. But then you do have some cons. You're going to have increased blast shooting upward and noise. You're going to have more flash in low light situations because this is going to create somewhat of a fireball. Going to have a slight reduction in bullet velocity. For example, this is a P365XL slide length, 3.7 length barrel normally would go in here, but instead there is a 3.1 inch barrel in here, which ends here. So you're going to have that shorter slide, which means the bullet doesn't have that extra time to speed up and increase its velocity. So you only lose 50 to 100 feet per second. In a small pistol, that can mean a big difference between let's say a hollow point or a self-defense round expanding or not. Something like this on the Staccato, these are slide cuts. They're not ports. The only benefit to this is a lighter slide, which the slide will go back at a faster rate. In some scenarios, it may make a difference, especially if you're in a timed competition. Some pistols have slide windows purely for the looks, like the Staccato. Instead of drilling holes into the barrel extends slightly into a specially designed section of the slide. The gases exit through the expansion chambers. You can see here they're built into the slide itself. They're cut into the slide itself. It's not an extra piece or an add-on or anything along those lines. This is a perfect example, and those designs are attempted to capture some of the benefits of a compensator while remaining compact enough for concealed carry. Compared to traditional barrel porting, integrated systems and the recoil reduction may be slightly less, and they do vary a lot by the design and the type of ammunition that you're using. So now that we have the basics out of the way, a simple way to remember all of this: the barrel ports are the holes that redirect the gas. Your slide cuts are the openings that let the gas escape. And in some cases, they'll just for reducing weight of the slide if there are no holes in the barrel. Your integrated ports are going to be built in gas reduction systems into a slide barrel design rather than using exposed barrel ports. So the distinction is important because two pistols can both be called ported, yet use very different engineering approaches that produces different recoil characteristics, maintenance requirements, and other trade-offs. So now that I've over-explained porting, here's where the debate usually starts. The pro-port crowd says, hey, less muzzle rise, we get faster follow-up shots, we're going to get better tracking during rapid fire sessions. Competitive shooters, who really are probably the biggest crowd for this type of setup because they've been using ports forever, and those seconds really make a difference to some of those competitive shooters. The anti-port crowd says pistols are louder, and it's going to definitely give you more felt concussion. There's more flash. It does make your pistols dirtier. Optics, they get dirtier, especially, maybe not one magazine, but you're going to see that carbon buildup. You're going to get some reduced velocity. Usually it's only modest though, depending on the round, and it costs money to add ports. Anti-port crowd, it's expensive, and they're right. It's not cheap if you go to a aftermarket specialty shop to have this done, ship it away, have it done. Lots of times when you get a ported pistol from a manufacturer, it could be 20-25% more. And there's more maintenance because it makes everything dirty. You need to clean your pistol more often. But surprisingly, none of these are the biggest criticisms that I've ever seen. The self-defense debate. This is where things start to get heated up in some of the forums. You have more flash, affecting vision, especially during nighttime and twilight hours. I will say with good carry ammo, they are packed with quality powder, so the flash is less, but with regular range ammo, the flash is real. When you have a light on the end of your pistol, if you're shooting a ported pistol at night, the gases shoot up, and I'll roll in some video. Also, I have to mention the retention shooting debate. It's a defensive shooting technique used when an attacker is so close that by extending your pistol into a normal two-handed firing position at that time would be impractical. During a close retention shot, upward gases vent those hot particles. Some instructors that I've personally worked with, they don't even allow ported weapons when doing these type of drills. Another trainer I worked with for a short time always would argue that the spall from the ports, which are the hot gases and the carbon particles, could burn you or cause small shrapnel wounds. What if you got hit in the eye with a small piece of shrapnel or those hot gases, even with eye pro? If you're in a defensive situation and you don't wear glasses, you're probably not wearing eye pro. The real question becomes, how much should you optimize your carry gun for scenarios you hope will never happen? If a firearm is discharged inside a vehicle or indoors in general, you will have increased volume from the environment, and you're going to have flash to deal with. Possible blast near your face or body if you're in a scuffle or you're in some sort of unconventional position is a real concern. The evidence that I've studied suggests depends on your shooting position. So how often or likely do these situations actually happen during a civilian concealed carry encounter? Most shooters or CCW carriers just try to get rounds down range accurately, work on their trigger pull, and their fundamentals. In case you don't know what a split time is, a split time is the time between consecutive shots during a string of fire. For example, if your first shot breaks at 1.20 seconds and your second breaks at 1.42 seconds, your split is 0.22 seconds. So the theory behind porting is simple. You have that less muzzle rise, you're going to get that faster sight return, you're going to get that faster second shot, and you're going to get faster follow-up shots. So many skilled shooters do record faster split times with ported or compensated pistols. The improvements are usually measured in hundredths of a second. That doesn't sound like much, but over 6 or 8 shots, those tiny gains will add up. Porting generally does not make the pistol mechanically more accurate. The barrel hasn't become more precise. The sights haven't changed. You haven't changed your ammunition. What changes is the shooter's ability to keep the sights on target during rapid fire, to be able to get that barrel back onto target. The benefit becomes more apparent when you're shooting quickly. Next, you're going to have your practical accuracy. This is where porting shows its value. Practical accuracy asks, can you make accurate hits while shooting at speed? This is very different from shooting tiny groups off a bench. When the gun tracks flatter, many shooters find it easier to keep the dot or the front sight on target during rapid strings of fire. That ultimately can reduce misses, especially on smaller targets at longer distances with pistols. Most experienced shooters already manage recoil effectively through grip or your stance, your trigger control. But then you have your average shooter or your recreational shooter. Some may notice faster follow-up shots. Sometimes the improvements are obvious, sometimes it's barely measurable. There's no single study that answers all these questions, and that's important because I'm not trying to prove porting is good or porting is bad. There are a lot of variables, so making a single scoring system to prove if it's worth it or not may just get the same results as picking a random side. What does all of this tell us? Porting isn't magic. It's not a gimmick either. Data suggests it can improve recoil control and shave time off certain drills, especially those that emphasize that rapid follow-up shot and during competition shooting. A shooter with an excellent grip, trigger control, and consistently practices will almost always outperform someone relying on equipment alone. Porting may help you get a little more out of your existing skill, but it won't create a skill that isn't already there. I think the internet argues about whether ports are good, but the better question is who is actually benefiting. If you're chasing faster follow-up shots and you practice regularly, you're probably going to appreciate it. If you rarely train and you expect the gun to compensate for lack of fundamentals, porting isn't going to solve that problem. Maybe just get one to work with at the range, definitely not one to carry with you every single day. And like most things in the firearm world, real life application is more than trends. So here's what I want to know. If you could buy one pistol for self-defense, home defense, or for time at the range, would you buy one with ports and a slide cut? Would you buy one with integrated no cuts into your barrel? Or do you already own one or two? If so, do you prefer the factory ports or are you more in the aftermarket camp? More importantly, tell me why. I have a feeling that the comment section is going to split right down the middle on this one. Also, check the post on my channel. I'll post a poll asking a question, port or no port, on your concealed carry weapon, and we'll see who wins. If you found this video helpful and you want to see more Glockaholic 76, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. If you like this video, like it. If you didn't, don't. But either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. As always, I appreciate you watching my videos. Train smart, shoot often, stay ready. Glockaholic 76. Talk to you soon.